everyone, welcome to Actual English. I'm Jennifer Clyde. It's time for lesson 352 and today's topic is New Year's 2. So for the New Year 2 we have New Year's resolutions. So I guess towards the end of the old year perhaps it would be 2014 for us, and in the beginning of 2015, which happens to be a brand new year, will be starting very soon, people tend to set New Year's resolutions. Resolutions are simply plans, okay? So we can plan ahead for the coming year. I think a lot of people set resolutions such as working out. You know, many people sign up at the gym, determined to go to the gym and work out. Some are determined to study, maybe start going to, a certain institute to study a foreign language or anything else. So we all may have our own New Year's resolutions. So let's think about that today as we talk about that topic. Here we go. Let's begin with actual talk.
I'm one of those people that at the beginning of every year says, this will be my year. This is the year that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
There's a lot of people like you.
There are a lot of people like me, yeah, and they're called New Year's resolutioners.
Right.
We're the bane of society. Do you make New Year's resolutions?
Last year I did something where I would try a new thing every month.
Ooh.
So I think like having one goal for the whole year, I always forget it or lose it by the time I get to May.
Yeah.
Or if I make it to May, I'm actually doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
But this year, I don't know. I don't have anything planned yet. You?
Okay. Really the same things as usual.
Yeah.
Lose a little bit of weight.
Right.
I like the idea of the one thing every month.
Right.
We used to do something similar actually back home in England. There's some really low-cost airlines.
Okay.
And they do really cheap flights, like $10 to different countries.
No way.
So we just say every month, let's go to somewhere different for the weekend and get away. So that's kind of a resolution.
Right.
I think this year, it might actually be, my resolution this year might actually be to start a family.
Oh, wow.
So
that's exciting.
We'll have to see where that one goes. But apart from that, I really like New Year's resolutions, but I think they should be something that we try and do throughout the year anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just being healthy
Yeah.
and creating a healthy lifestyle, being nice to people. I think those are good ones.
Yeah, they're great. They should be things that we just do naturally, though, I think.
Right. But, I mean, New Year's is a good time to remind ourselves.
Fantastic point. Yeah, very good.
Okay, we just took a listen to today's actual talk and now we're ready to get started. That was a conversation between Mary and Martin, and of course they were talking about New Year's resolutions. Here we go. First of all, Martin said, I'm one of those people that at the beginning of every year says, this will be my year. He also says, this is the year that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, so he says that he's one of those people that are determined in the beginning of the year. They proudly say with full energy, okay, they say, this is going to be my year. It's going to be a great year for me, for example. And people like Martin also say, this is the year that I'm going to do X, Y, Z. You could also say, this is the year that I'm going to do A, B, C. Okay, he's just listing a few things. Since he can't exactly tell us what it is, he's just saying A, B, C, X, Y, Z. Okay, thus, many things. He's determined to do more than one thing. Okay, such as 3 things. And then Mary says, there are a lot of people like you. Okay, so they're basically saying that in the beginning of the year, people tend to set many, many New Year's resolutions before thinking. Okay, all right. And then Martin says, they are called the New Year's resolutioners. As you see, there is an ER plus an S at the very end. So we're talking about people, okay? They are referring to the people that set resolutions in the beginning of the year. Many of them just like Martin. So he says they're called the New Year's resolutioners, people that set many, many resolutions. We're the bane of society. Now this is a tricky word, but bane itself, B-A-N-E, some define it as a word that is that's meant to cause death, okay? But also it can mean that it's something that makes you feel unhappy or annoyed, okay? So he's saying that people like him and others, New Year's resolutioners, are the bane of society, okay? Do you make New Year's resolutions? Well, Mary said, last year, so she's talking about this year perhaps, or even 2013. I did something where I would try a new thing every month. So she would try something new, a new thing, every single month, which I think is pretty wonderful. And then she says, I always forget it. She always forgets it or loses it by the time I get to May. So here we go. First of all, she says, she tries to set new resolutions or new plans for each and every month. One for January, one for February, one for March, and so on and so forth. But she forgets it. She forgets her plans or her resolutions, or she loses it by the time she gets to May. So by the time May comes, it's like she forgets about those plans and she no longer sets plans for each and every month. Now, this is a pattern for today, to lose something. Lose it. It can be used in a way to express that somebody gets really, really angry, okay? Or it can also mean that you forget something. It can also mean that you become not as skilled as before in doing something. All right, so to lose something, of course, you can lose an object and not be able to find it, but lose something, such as lose it, can be used in many different situations. We'll practice that later on in today's actual expression, so hold your worries, okay? So the whole point is that by the month of May, her plans kind of shatter. Or, she says, if I make it to May, if she succeeds, okay, and goes by her plans until the month of May, she says, I'm actually doing really well. But this year, I don't have anything planned yet. You? All right. So I think here when she said last year, she was perhaps talking about 2014. And since we're talking about New Year's resolutions for the coming year, this year here, she's talking about the coming year, 2015. All right? So Martin says really the same things as usual. He's saying he's just like Mary. Lose a little bit of weight. Okay, so every year it's about losing a little bit of weight. You could gain weight, you can lose weight. So in other words, he's saying one of his plans or one of his New Year's resolutions is to lose weight, go on a diet, okay? Shed some kilos, for example. Weight, we all know that, okay? It's a measurement. We're talking about our body mass, how much we weigh. And he says, I like the idea of one thing every month. He likes what Mary did. We used to do something similar back home in England. So, him and his friends, his family, people would do the same thing or a similar thing in England, okay? Doing one thing every month. And he says there are some really low-cost airlines, meaning inexpensive airlines, and they do really cheap flights. And he gives an example, like $10 to different countries. Really? Wow. $10. $100 would be cheap as well. Anyhow, the whole point is that some airlines would have low-cost flights or low-cost plane tickets. They would sell tickets at a very cheap price. No way. Hard to believe, Mary says. No way. So Martin says, so we used to say every month, let's go somewhere different, or let's go to somewhere different for the weekend and get away. So this is what him and his friends or him and his family, he used to say with people he knew in England, all right? Get away basically means to kind of go somewhere, means to travel somewhere, perhaps just to relax. When you say that you get away, okay, or you want to get away, it's usually closer to a short trip. Not a very long vacation, but it's closer to a short trip. It could be a long vacation, but usually a getaway, it's usually written as one word in that case, is just a short trip. But if you say, I want to get away, it means that you want to go somewhere else. You want to travel elsewhere, all right? I think my resolution, as I mentioned, it means plan, this year might actually be to start a family. Aha, that's a good one. We went over to start a family. What does to start a family mean? Do you remember? Okay. Let's say, for example, you're newlyweds. You just got married. And if it's just you and your husband or you and your wife, of course, you have just begun your own family. But there's mom and dad, for example. Before you have a baby, it's just husband and wife. If you say, we want to start a family, it means that you and your wife or you and your husband want to have a child or children of your own. Okay, so that is Martin's plan. Since he's married, him and his wife want to have children. They want to start a family. Got it? Moving on. Yes, Mary says that's exciting. And Martin says, we'll have to see where that goes. This is used quite often. You will see it quite commonly. When somebody says, we'll have to see where it goes. We'll have to see where that goes, and so on. See where something goes. It means to try something, okay, to try something out and see what happens, okay? Kind of do something to see and wait to see what kind of result it will bring. So he's saying that he will try, okay, and see what happens. They're going to see where that one goes. But apart from that, besides that, we went over apart from, besides that, I really like New Year's resolutions. And he says, I think they should be something we try and do throughout the year. Throughout the year means what? Something that's kind of non-stop. It's gradual. It's non-stop. It keeps on going. It continues throughout something, meaning from the beginning to the end of something, during the whole process of something, all right? And then moving on, Mary says, right, just being healthy, creating a healthy lifestyle. That's right. And being nice to people. I think those are good ones. And Martin agrees by saying they're great. They should be things that we just do naturally, though. Not having to try too hard, but things that just happens naturally. And finally, they wrap up the conversation by saying, right, New Year's is a good time to remind ourselves. Fantastic point. Very good. So that's true. I think New Year's is a very good time for us to kind of think about the past year, think about what we have accomplished, what we didn't accomplish. We can think about our mistakes, our regrets, the happy moments, and perhaps we could, try to feel those happy moments again in the coming year. But of course, try to forget or even prevent the bad things from happening in the new year as well. So perhaps New Year's is a good time to remind ourselves of the wonderful things we can possibly do. Okay, so whether you have your New Year's resolution set or not, let's take a listen to the conversation one more time.
I'm one of those people that at the beginning of every year says, this will be my year. This is the year that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
There's a lot of people like you.
There are a lot of people like me, yeah, and they're called New Year's resolutioners.
Right.
We're the bane of society. Do you make New Year's resolutions?
Last year I did something where I would try a new thing every month.
Ooh.
So I think like having one goal for the whole year, I always forget it or lose it by the time I get to May.
Yeah.
Or if I make it to May, I'm actually doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
But this year, I don't know. I don't have anything planned yet. You?
Okay. Really the same things as usual.
Yeah.
Lose a little bit of weight.
Right.
I like the idea of the one thing every month.
Right.
We used to do something similar actually back home in England. There's some really low-cost airlines.
Okay.
And they do really cheap flights, like $10 to different countries.
No way.
So we just say every month, let's go to somewhere different for the weekend and get away. So that's kind of a resolution.
Right.
I think this year, it might actually be, my resolution this year might actually be to start a family.
Oh, wow.
So
that's exciting.
We'll have to see where that one goes. But apart from that, I really like New Year's resolutions, but I think they should be something that we try and do throughout the year anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just being healthy
Yeah.
and creating a healthy lifestyle, being nice to people. I think those are good ones.
Yeah, they're great. They should be things that we just do naturally, though, I think.
Right. But I mean, New Year's is a good time to remind ourselves.
Fantastic point. Yeah, very good.
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, it is once again time for actual expressions, where we get the opportunity to go over the vocab words and the patterns we select from our actual talk conversation. So we have a few vocab words here. The first word is bane. Bane, as you see, B-A-N-E, and this is the pronunciation. Bane. Some synonyms are burden, curse, which is a pretty strong word, or even destruction. So as I mentioned, it's something that causes death or construction. But it can also be something that causes you to feel unhappy about something or even annoyed about something. Okay, so it can cause a feeling of unhappiness or annoyance as well. Bane, that is. What about weight? Of course, body mass. We're talking about how much something weighs. All right, so pounds could be a synonym for that. Kilograms, pounds. You can lose weight. You can lose some pounds. You can lose some kilos, for example, which means to lose weight, okay, when you go on a diet. What about resolution? We're talking about declaration, perhaps an intention to do something, because some other synonyms may be plan, even decision to do something. So we often set decisions, set plans, set resolutions for the new year, okay? Now keep in mind it's a Z sound, resolution. Here we go, stress goes right there. Resolution. It's a Z sound, Z, Z, resolution. Good, and let's move on to throughout. Throughout, it's 2 syllables. Throughout, preposition, throughout. It means from the beginning to the very end of something. So, all over, all the time is a synonym. During, around. These are all other synonyms you can work with as well. Okay, let's take a look at our first pattern then. It's to lose it. Means to become less capable of doing something. All right, so of course, as I mentioned, you can say he lost it. Okay, in a situation. It could mean he got really angry. He lost it, meaning he lost his temper. He lost control, meaning he really, really got angry. But we're talking about becoming less capable of doing something in today's lesson, all right? So here we go with a sample sentence. I'll help you understand. Here, when I was younger, I used to win every basketball game. Okay, let's break it up. Take it up to here. So this person is saying that when he or she was younger, he or she used to win every basketball game. Does it mean that he was good in basketball or bad at basketball? Very good at basketball, right? Okay, with that in mind. But now, I think I'm losing it. Okay, so what does this mean? This person used to win, used to be very good at basketball, but now, he says, I think I'm losing it. I'm losing it, meaning he's becoming less capable. He's losing that magic touch. He's not as good as before. He's less capable of playing really well. Now you have an idea, right? Okay, moving on to get away. To get away means to, as I mentioned, to go somewhere, to leave, to go away, to travel perhaps. We're planning to get away before the baby is born. Get away, go somewhere, travel somewhere. We're planning to get away before the baby is born. Okay, and then see where that goes or see where it goes. When you say, we'll see what something goes or where something goes, it means that you will try it out first of all and see what the results are and then make a decision later on. All right, so here's a sample sentence. I think I can win this competition, but let's see where it goes. Okay, one more time. I think I can win this competition, but let's see where it goes. So it's about a decision that will be made after allowing it to develop over a period of time. You're going to wait and then see how it goes and then make a decision. That's when you can say, I'll see where that goes. I'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. I think I can win this competition, but let's see where it goes. Let's see what happens and then make that decision. Okay? So with everything in mind, practice them more on your own. Job well done.